Spring arrives in Washington, D.C., not with a sudden burst, but with a gentle, blushing whisper. It begins as a promise on thousands of bare branches, a subtle swelling of buds that hold a world of color within. Then, as if orchestrated by an unseen conductor, the city transforms. A soft, ethereal cloud of pink and white descends upon the landscape, draping itself around the cool marble of monuments and reflecting in the still waters. This is the magic of the cherry blossoms, a spectacle that quiets the bustling capital and invites a collective moment of awe. The air itself seems to soften, carrying the faintest sweet fragrance on the breeze. The phenomenon is a visual symphony that draws millions of onlookers into its fold. People from every walk of life gather along the pathways, their faces turned upward towards the delicate canopy. The usual hurried pace of the city gives way to a slow, appreciative stroll. The story of these iconic trees is not rooted in American soil, but is one of international friendship and diplomacy. Their journey to Washington, D.C. began over a century ago, a gesture of goodwill from the people of Japan to the people of the United States. In 1912, a shipment of more than 3,000 cherry trees arrived from Yokohama, a gift intended to deepen the growing bond between the two nations. This was not the first attempt. An earlier shipment in 1910 had to be destroyed due to disease. But the spirit of the gift was so strong that the effort was renewed, resulting in the successful planting that we cherish today. This act of generosity was carefully planned and deeply symbolic. First Lady Helen Herron Taft, Viscountess Chinda, the wife of the Japanese ambassador, planted the very first 2 trees on the northern bank of the Tidal Basin. These 2 original trees still stand near the John Paul Jones Memorial, silent witnesses to the decades of history that have unfolded beneath their branches. The gift was more than just a collection of saplings. It was a living symbol of peace and the enduring beauty that can grow from a relationship nurtured with care and mutual respect. To truly appreciate the blossoms, a little planning can transform a good visit into an unforgettable one. The single most impactful tip is to choose your time wisely. The tidal basin can become incredibly crowded, especially on weekends during peak bloom. To experience the serenity, consider an early morning visit. Sunrise rewards you with soft, golden light, fewer people, and the magical sight of blossoms waking up with the city. Late afternoon gives a warm glow, but crowds are much thicker then. Weekdays beat weekends if you can. Beyond the tidal basin loop, other spots are often less crowded. Washington Monument Grounds, trees framing panoramic mall views. Haynes Point, varied cherry varieties along the trails, different bloom times extend the season. Residential neighborhoods, solitary trees for intimate moments. Don't be afraid to wander off the beaten path. Practical prep matters. The breathtaking beauty of the cherry blossoms is defined by its impermanence. For just a few precious days, the trees exist in a state of perfect, glorious bloom. Then, almost as quickly as it arrived, the spectacle begins to fade. The petals, loosened by a gentle breeze or a spring rain, detach from their branches and begin to fall. This final act, known as the cherry snow, is a spectacle in its own right. The air fills with a swirling confetti of pink and white, blanketing the pathways floating on the surface of the tidal basin. It is a quiet, poignant conclusion, a reminder that all beautiful things are fleeting. This ephemeral nature is precisely what makes the blossoms so meaningful. They are not a permanent fixture, but a fleeting gift, a yearly reminder to pause our busy lives and appreciate the present moment. As the last petals fall and the green leaves emerge, they leave behind a promise. We will be back next year, and it will be just as magical.